Get your lunch.
Scott, how would you describe that first period for Kyle Connor? I know it was dominant for the
Yeah.
team, but for him specifically.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Obviously we had talked, I think, a couple of weeks ago about our starts, and we've been getting a lot better at it, getting kind of out of the gate, and thought we did that tonight as a group. They made a mistake, not a mistake, but they turned the puck over, and we obviously it was bang bang play right in the back of the net, and just like a lot of what we did in that first period, kind of got off in playing our game right away, and certainly was the difference.
For Cole Perfetti, he's worked on other parts of his game, but for him, I thought on Saturday he got to the blue paint pretty well.
Yeah.
What's it like for him to get a reward, a couple points here?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest sort of the difference, as I mentioned this morning. Last year he went through a stretch where, he's having a tough time, whether it was scoring or getting points, and it felt like he was getting farther and farther away from the net. Now he's staying in the fight. He's winning in a lot of his one-on-one confrontations or battles, and again, he's playing, making plays. He's getting in there, and he does that. That's when he's at his best.
To your point about targeting starts that you weren't probably the happiest with before Christmas around that time there, a lot of teams have issues like that, and they'll plague them all year. What is it about your team that you're able to target an issue like that and get a response?
Yeah, you know what? It's just kind of staying on top of them, I guess, is the biggest way. About just kind of drilling into home about simplifying early on, instead of trying to make a high-risk play, like this, as simple as possible. We know when we get pucks in, and, you can, through video, through talking, showing guys doing it in the games. Our forecheck is real strong. When it is, when we're on, that's when the offensive zone time really goes up. And I think the guys see that. I look at the game in Colorado. I know we lost that New Year's one, but our first 30 minutes was really strong, and it was because we did a lot of those things. And it just kind of, we've been doing a lot more of it, and I think the guys recognize it amongst themselves, the buy-in to get off to a good start, your first couple of shifts to be strong, and that'll lead to, a strong period for us.
To your point this morning about teams coming in and showing you their best, it seems like teams are coming in with, a plan for your power play now. But as the game goes on, it's almost like your guys are figuring out the weakness in that power play. Just a thought on your power play's ability to learn in game to get those late power play goals.
Yeah, I think there's a combination of different things that happen. It's your players, it's their hockey IQ and their knowledge, and they recognize that, that there's certain things that maybe in this tonight that Vancouver might be looking to take away. But it's not a lot different than our PK, that all of a sudden, here's what you think they're, sometimes they're going to this certain look and then they change it off, and might take you one, sort of run through it to figure it out, and that's what happens with the power play. Whether that's the players' IQ, the coaches, we make some adjustments that we see that might be beneficial to us, and that's all part of kind of on the fly. And I think that's one thing right now. We're sort of multi-dimensional when it comes to our power play. There's different areas where we can strike, and that's something we sort of started in training camp and mentioned about everybody's a threat, and that's what we're seeing. I mean, I don't know how that second unit didn't score in the second period with all the quality chances they got, but they found the hole, and they found the spot, and they got some great looks off it.
Kyle Connor was asked about his breakaway, and he said that he had a couple of plans, and he was waiting to see what the goalie did in response to him. Some guys move that fast, some guys have fast hands, but his brain is going at 1,000,000 miles a minute to be able to do that. How does that happen? Can you put that into perspective of how elite that is?
I was always jealous because you hear those skill guys, those great players, they say it's like they slow down and go in slow motion. I was the opposite. My brain was going 100 miles an hour. But it's exactly what they say, that they get in there, and he's thinking about probably 3 different moves that he might try. The normal person is just probably trying to do something as fast as possible. And but he has, I've seen him kind of do 3 different moves all in sort of the same practice against against their goalies and stuff. And, that shot is the threat, so that for him to go to fake it at all, I'm sure that, froze the goaltender like he did. And that's just another skill set that he has.
Gabriel Vilardi with a few primary assists, and it seems like most shifts, many shifts, he knocks at least one puck down.
Yeah.
Seems like maybe an underrated aspect of his game.
Yeah, I don't know if he played baseball or not, but he has good hand-eye, that's for sure. We've talked often about him in tight areas. He can make plays, and we saw that goal in New York where he knocked it out of the air and made that great play to fly. You see lots of it. Again, another guy that has a skill set that it's hard to teach. Sometimes these guys just they do things that you just you go, wow, that's another great opportunity, another great situation.
And then you mentioned the PK just a moment ago, sort of in context of the power play too. Seems like a little bit of a warm into a hot streak maybe going on for that PK. What are you liking from it?
Yeah, I think it's cohesive. I think that we're moving together. We're in sync about what's kind of coming with the opposition. I think we're starting to figure out a little bit some pairs here on how we're working it. Big thing, Sammy's back. That helps that a lot. But I just think that we're taking the threat away. Sort of recognizing the opposition where they're looking to go most of the time, and we're trying to stay over top of that as much as possible, make them go to plan C or plan D, and that's probably been the best part of it.
The second goal with Kyle Connor, it's a rebound, and he quickly makes a move there to score and get around Lincoln. And just his ability to react on plays and those quick moves, like how much do you think that's contributed to his all-around game kind of progressing, whether it's on the penalty kill, defensively, and just his reads and how he's reacting and weaponizing his natural skills?
Yeah, his hockey IQ is off the charts, and I think that's where a lot of it comes from. When he has the puck, he's got ice in his veins when he does stuff. I think that, the other side of it, where we like him on the PK, is his anticipation. He recognizes maybe where that next play is going, probably because he plays on the power play. And but he's real good at anticipating plays. And whether that's Gabe picking off that pass in the corner and him darting, getting to the net front all alone by himself, like the goal you mentioned. It's just that ability to recognize what the next play is going to be, and he's kind of almost like he's one step ahead of it.
As a coach, like obviously the shot and his raw skills appeal to you like anyone else, but do you almost find yourself being the most impressed with that hockey sense?
I didn't know about it until I got here, and then I've seen it over the last few years. I think it's part of his drive that drives him every shift. He wants to score every shift. He wants to get 7 goals a game, and that's what those top players, those guys that are true goal scorers. That's what they want. They want to score every time they get the puck on their stick, and he's driven like those guys are.
What do you like about the Kupari Perfetti line tonight?
That was a really good line, and I was waiting for you guys to ask me about that. But I thought they were really good. I really did. I thought they were good. I liked a lot of how they. Coop used his speed, but then Nino used his size. Fetz used his hockey IQ and vision, and it was a good chemistry there, and it was nice to see all the lines actually were getting some opportunities, especially making plays, and that line we threw it together the other night, and I thought tonight they were real good.
Your second and third line kind of have, like the really good defensive guy, the guy who's a good mix of offense and defense, and then the guy who's got that skill up front. Is there something about that trio that is working with both those two lines?
Well, I think there's one of everything on that line. Coop's got the speed and they can skate, and you got Nino's size, and he knows to get to the net front. And like I just mentioned there, Fetz has got the ability to make plays, hold on to pucks, and I thought they did a good job of not getting away from each other. I thought they did a good job of staying close to each other. Then they cycled, they interchanged. They were helped stay up with real good support to create the next play. And theirs was a little different. They got the first one. They did a great job on the forecheck. Got it back to P, and he pounded it. The Nino one that was put the puck to the net. I think Coop shot at the net. And then it's typical Nino, go to the net and create the havoc, and might be a greasy goal, but that's the ones he likes to score. Thanks. Yep.